And I'm David. And we're talking Celebrity Big Brother.
Ooh, you guys, there's only like 2 episodes left.
Yeah.
And there's a ton of people in the house.
There's a lot that still needs to happen.
Okay, so last week, we were saying that Shannon was probably gonna go out.
Sure enough, she did.
She did.
The only interesting thing about it was that Brandy threw a wonky vote.
And when I saw it on the show,
Yeah.
I go, she couldn't do it. She couldn't vote against Shannon.
Yeah.
Of course, the house and most of the people on Twitter were like, "Hinky vote, trying to mix things up."
That's what I thought too, but then Brandy owned up to it right away, which I thought was weird. She's like, yeah, it was me, I voted for Mark.
Well, Brandy's a pretty honest person. I don't think
is.
she would have lied.
I mean, that's
anyway.
how she plays. But I thought when the wonky vote happened, I was like, oh, she's gonna try to blame it on somebody else, but she didn't do that.
Right, she could have done that.
Yeah.
And of course people are like, we see what she's doing. She wants Shannon's vote in the end.
Yeah.
Which is very valid. I don't know why I assumed she had some genuine feelings. But who knows?
Yeah. The house sort of sniffs that out right away, and they're
Right.
like, she's trying to get a jury vote here. Like,
And her alliance, you know, has some legit issues, but obviously you can't break up your alliance. You need those numbers, so
yeah. And it's not even
together.
just the alliance who has the issues. Like,
Oh,
even
yeah.
Omarosa was like, Brandy, are you kidding?
Right.
When the house decides to vote a certain way, you vote with the house. You know, like, everybody is pretty upset with her. And rightfully so, but I think people are sort of latching onto this to sort of make her a target.
Oh, sure. Anything you can, you know.
To save yourself.
Right. We go into the HOH.
Yes.
Wall competition.
Slop is on the line.
First 3 people out.
Yeah.
Are Slop. Guess who's out first?
Oh, it's Metta. Surprise.
What?
Yeah.
Come on.
Omarosa was like, just don't be first. And he's like, "Bloop, I'm first.
Then it was Ross and Mark.
So they're on Slop. Marissa just misses Slop. And it comes down to James and Omarosa.
But I will say that Brandy drops like 3rd to last, and I was so impressed.
She competed.
She was like
grasping.
Yes.
She was like, you're gonna have to pull me off this wall. Like, I am not giving up.
For someone who kind of prefaces all of this with like, I just gotta pay the bills.
Yeah.
I do these shows because I need money.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's a fighter.
She's playing the game.
She is.
Yeah.
So yeah, down to James and Omarosa.
He knows that he's gonna fall, right?
Yeah.
So he's cutting a deal with Omarosa. What do you want? Like, what can I give you? She's like, look, if you fall, I'll keep you safe, I promise. And he's like, I'll take that deal.
Sure. People are literally going, no!
Yeah.
No!
Yeah.
I can deal with that devil, no!
I know.
But of course you do. You make that deal in that moment. And oh my god, Omarosa's HOH.
Of course, she smartly targets Ross.
Okay, let me just pause because I got strong feelings about this woman. So it pains me to say this.
You can do it.
She's really good at this game.
She's playing it so smart.
She's playing some Big Brother.
Yeah, because I
gotta give her credit.
She launches into the strategy right away. She pulls aside the girls and she says, are we still in this? Like, I want a girl to win. Like, let's take these girls to the final 4, this and that. And then she turns around, because she's alone in the house. No one really is on to Omarosa. So she turns around and goes to James and Mark and Metta and is saying, we gotta get Ross out. I need to make an alliance with you.
Yeah, I mean, she's clearly targeting Ross.
Yeah.
Which is understandable.
Yeah.
The way that she just beautifully made a deal with the dudes and then at the same time is like, ladies, we can't let a guy win. I'm with you.
Yeah.
And just like she was even kept going back to Shannon back in those days of like, we can still do this together. She has changed her strategy every time she's needed to.
Yeah.
Okay, no more. I'm not talking any more good stuff about Omarosa. That was it.
Omarosa's looking for a girl to put up on the block next to Ross. Marissa and Ari are both saying, well, maybe it should be Brandy because we can't really trust her anymore. So they're sort of lobbying.
And she's like, you handed it to me on a plate. Great.
Yeah.
Done. I don't even have to like pretend like this is something else.
Exactly. So Omarosa at the nomination ceremony gives her whole speech, nominates Ross and Brandy, finishes, and Ross politely says, now that's how you let somebody finish.
It's classy.
Yeah. And Omarosa's just like, yeah, you're classier than I am.
Good one, Ross. A good one. Ross is the target.
And
Everyone knows it.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I'm like, this is pretty much Ross's game.
This is going to be a done deal.
He's gone unless something happens. Meanwhile, America is voting for a veto twist. We had a few choices with that.
Yeah, the one that they end up picking is the VIP veto, which allows the veto holder to use it twice if they want.
Now, I thought over the weekend during this voting time, because I was hearing that Omarosa had made this deal with James, and the girls, Brandy and Ari, they want James out. So they were like, oh, you made this deal, you made this deal. And Omarosa kept expressing like, well, I made the deal. If this twist has anything to do with anybody else, you guys, you know, go after James. Like, I'm the one who made the deal, but you guys, right? So that made me think we should vote for the diamond one, because the diamond, whoever would have won the veto, they named the replacement nominee, not Omarosa. So that did open a door where, let's say Brandy won the veto, Brandy pulls herself down and she says, I want James. And then all of a sudden the house could have flipped. Obviously, very slim things would have to happen for that to happen. And anyway, America votes for the VIP.
Yes. So they go to the veto competition, and I'm thinking, Ross, you gotta pull this out, because the only chance that you are gonna stay in this game is if you win veto. And it is...
I'm like, well, Ross can win
That's
puzzles.
his strength. He's smart, but Omarosa's smart too, and it was so close between Ross and Omarosa.
Oh my God, I thought Omarosa had done it, because they moved the camera over and they show Omarosa finishing. And we missed that Ross had finished, what, a second? Before?
The audience is screaming, and it takes me a second to realize that they're thrilled that Ross has won, right?
I was like, that was a loud cheer from the audience. I think everybody heard that, right? Look, we have to preface that even though we do get favorites in the house, we just like the game. So whenever there's a target that wins veto, we get excited about that. We just like the game. We root for game. So all of a sudden Ross has this power to not only take himself down, but he can take two people down.
So he, of course, as a Big Brother fan, is thrilled to be able to use the veto on himself to take himself off the block.
This is when my excitement level drops a little bit.
Takes a big dip here.
So Ross has taken himself off. Omarosa nominates Metta, and she says because Metta wants to go home. Then Ross is like, I don't need to use it a second time. Because apparently everyone has already decided they're gonna let Metta go.
Everyone's agreed.
Oh my gosh! This was my original fear. You tell me you're gonna put celebrities in the house, I think they're not gonna game and they're just gonna wanna go home. Luckily, we've had the best gameplay.
True.
But we've had 2 people evicted because they want to go home?
Out of 4. We've only had 4 evictions, and half of them have been sympathy evictions.
I just can't. It just drives me bonkers.
But at this point, I was like, get him the F out of this house.
Whatever.
I don't care. Go. I don't want to hear about how you want to leave the game, because these other people in here are playing the game. So get out. And I did love in his exit interview how Julie was like, you've been in here 20 days and there's only 6 left.
You
only couldn't
6
stick it out.
days.
And he was like, no, I couldn't go one more day. I'm like, I think you could have.
Okay, that's a person with a lot of money. Who just was like, I don't care. Well, the upside of this is that Omarosa's HOH is wasted. Nothing happens.
And now
not only does nothing happen, she lost an ally. Was probably her only ally in the house, and he was barely an ally because he wasn't really paying attention to the game.
So going into this new HOH competition, everybody has a different target at this point. Ross wants Omarosa out of the house because she's gunning for him. Brandy and Ari want James out, and then James and Mark want one of the girls out, Brandy preferably. So like, there's a lot of things going on. Ross has got, I don't know how many Final Four deals, but he's positioned himself nicely in the middle.
Now this is the definition of a floater. Here's the thing. People say floater incorrectly most years. They say things like, Meg's a floater. No, Meg was just like sitting on the patio doing nothing. Ross is the perfect example of a floater. He floats from side to side.
Wherever the power is.
Wherever the power is. He has a Final Four over here, Final Four over here. He's got a Final 2 over here. You know, so whoever's in power, he's perfectly positioned in the middle. And so this is an HOH that he doesn't really need to worry about because Omarosa can't play. She's the only one gunning for him. So he can kind of lay low. Brandy and Ari know that they have to fight to win. Mark and James know that they have to fight and win. And here we go, HOH.
So it's the red carpet thing, which was very funny to see people continually falling off this thing.
Burp.
And so they go in 2 heats of 3, and then the top 3 compete to see who wins. But after the guys finish, it's pretty obvious that either James or Mark is going to win because their times are so much faster than Brandy's.
It was hilarious.
Yeah. So it ends up being James and Mark and Brandy in the final 3.
And James flies down.
Yeah.
And stands there and waits.
And cheers for Mark.
He's like, come on, Mark, this is you.
This is
yours.
The 3rd HOH now that James has thrown.
But like, this is an obvious thrown. There is nothing subtle about this.
No.
The entire house is witnessing James saying, Mark, are you gonna get a letter from your family?
You want the pictures,
this
don't
is
you?
all you.
Yeah.
Okay, hi. No.
No, we see right through that. You haven't had any photos or letters either. Like, why does Mark need them more than you do? Everyone knows now, if they didn't already know, that you have a final 2 with Mark. Well done.
I mean, I'm sure everyone had to know.
I know,
right?
Omarosa acted like it was some big revelation, but I was like,
we
I
know
think
that
we
Mark
all
and
knew.
James have been working together.
Yeah,
but
that is like confirmation. Like,
it's still like in your face.
Yeah. So Mark wins
Mark's
HOH. And they're, of course, as we said before, they're targeting the girls. They want either Brandy or Ari out of the house. Marissa and Ross don't like that plan so much, so they try to sort of get into Mark's head to convince him to go after Omarosa, but he's not really buying it.
First off, okay, so Ross has like got these 2 sides, right? But Marissa's not really on this guy's side. She just did that to save Ross.
Yeah.
She has no intention of being in that alliance.
Yeah.
She wants the girls to be saved. And Ross's only real target is Omarosa at this point. So obviously he's like, but Omarosa's so untrustworthy.
Yeah, because if he can get Omarosa out, he doesn't have to like stake a claim on either side of the house at this point.
She's screwing up his game. The 2 of them have a battle.
Yeah.
Get it. The interesting thing about Mark is that he's not playing the game so much. He's half there. He's half there to the point that he doesn't really care about someone planting seeds or doubt or paranoia. He just wants Brandy out.
Yeah, right.
Period.
He's sick of Brandy.
He don't really care what you tell him. He wants Brandy out.
Yep.
Now, I do think James is playing a good game.
He is. He's sort of come alive.
But he's blinded by Brandy because we know that although Brandy is playing a good game, Ari is the dangerous
She's
one.
the bigger threat because
Ari
she's
is
the mastermind.
Good.
She's laying low.
She will cut you. She doesn't care.
Yeah.
And they're overlooking her.
Yep.
Because Brandy doesn't like
She's
James.
in your face, exactly. Brandy is stirring up trouble. She causes drama. She's blunt.
She and James just don't get along, and Mark's protecting his buddy by trying to get Brandy out.
Yeah. So Mark's not really hearing any other plans.
Yep.
He ends up nominating Brandy and Ari.
Now, Brandy's the target.
Yep.
Here's some spoilers. Ari wins Veto. Did I mention Ari's good at this game?
You gotta watch out for her.
She will win when she needs to win.
That's right.
And she knows who to target. I mean, I will not be surprised if she takes this whole game.
She's a sleeper, I know.
Ari wins the veto, and even though Mark and James had said, well, obviously we'll put Omarosa up if there's a renom, then they realized someone might vote out Omarosa.
She's a pretty big target.
And we wouldn't get Brandy out.
So maybe we need to put up a pawn, and sure enough, they decide to put up Marissa in order to guarantee that Brandy walks out that door.
So Marissa and Brandy are on the block, and although Brandy is their target, there's just not enough people in the house for me to say she's 100% going.
For sure. What is happening now is that Omarosa is working with Brandy to try to flip votes and get Marissa out of the house, because Omarosa will probably work with anyone at this point. So she's trying to do that, and it's interesting. It might come down to a tiebreak. Obviously, Ross is going to vote to keep Marissa, and obviously Ari is going to vote to keep Brandy.
I think so.
I think Omarosa would vote to keep Brandy because she wants to mess up Ross's game and get Marissa out.
She would like to, but I think that Omarosa's smart enough because she's still playing with those guys. Like, they're something.
True.
She's smart enough to know that if the house is leaning towards Brandy,
she should go with the house. Yeah.
I don't know how the votes will fall down.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if anything can flip around or whatever. But it's also a double eviction.
This is where it's gonna get good, and things are gonna happen fast.
Not only is Friday a double eviction, but then the next episode is the finale.
You'll have 5 people, and we're gonna end up with 2.
This whole season has been so crazy. Like, great gameplay. I'm loving the cast.
Yeah.
But we've had a couple episodes of just like filler
Yeah.
of these segments that I'm like, why aren't you just evicting more people or doing more competitions or twists or something?
Right. But I guess they got to get those segments in about Omarosa talking about the White House.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
You don't need those. And guess what else you don't need? You don't need segments with Mark McGrath on an elliptical while James is singing. No, we don't need those.
Yeah, there's enough good gameplay happening this season.
With Metta out, those are the only acceptable packages. Metta and the owl. That was it.
Right. But I think it's going to be straight gameplay from here on out. There's too much that needs to happen for us to have any like superfluous content. So.
And we don't have a clue who is going to be in the finals yet, who's going to win.
This double eviction could change everything in the house.
Yeah, it just depends on who wins, who's in power.
Yeah.
Because everyone has a different thing.
Double evictions are your chance to get out a huge target.
Yeah.
So Ross could be walking out the door, you never know.
Right.
Or, because I doubt, like, it's not, a double eviction is not really the time you get rid of someone like Omarosa, because she's alone in the house. At least she seems like she's alone in the house. Nobody really knows how she's playing, you know, because she doesn't have any allies, it seems. So,
I mean, breaking up pairs is smart, but then that's when the alone in the house people creep to the top.
That's right.
But if Brandy survives, that makes Ari stronger. If you don't break up James and Mark, they're very, very strong.
Absolutely.
Ross knows how to play. Omarosa knows how to play no matter what. I don't know!
I have no idea. I'm still rooting for Ross, but it could really go any direction.
I'm like, whatever. Who wins?
Yeah.
Who cares? I don't know. Like, what a great season. I don't know. I'm on board.
Yes. But we'll be back to recap the finale, which is on Sunday.
Yes. Who are you guys rooting for?
And we'll see you next time.
Okay, bye.
Bye.